100 Sunday World. Michael, knowing that you were 443 hundredths away from the world record that you set in 2008, is it safe to say you are equal to or in better shape than you were 8 years ago? And then second question, what did you do to regroup between the IM and the butterfly?
I don't know if I'm in better shape than I was in 2008. That hurt a lot. And it's, you know, I think the biggest thing for me through the meet so far is I've been able to kind of finish how I wanted to. You know, I've been able to come back and I've been able to accomplish things that, you know, I just dreamt of. You know, being able to have the opportunity to come back and win my fourth 200 IM in a row. I mean, I don't even know how to put that into words. This has been a very, very special week so far. For me, closing out my career. And in between races, I just tried to keep moving. I did some squats, some lunges, swam 400, and got some calories in my system. Tried to do anything I could to just finish 100 and have a lane for tomorrow night.
Okay, next question, please.
Michael, 13 individual golds. How do you wrap your head around that? With one more possible.
I don't know. I don't know when, or I mean, I'm sure I'll be able to at some point in my life. But right now, I don't know how to wrap my head around that. I don't know what to say. It's been a hell of a career. You know, I was joking with Ryan, I don't know what day it was. I was like, man, how did we do all these events in 2008? Like, you know, it's just like, without the 400 IM and without the 200 free, I mean, my body is in pain. You know, my legs are hurting. I'm tired. But I mean, you know, I've texted back with some friends, you know, sort of going back and forth, and some of the inspirational messages that they've sent, you know, has really helped. You know, I thought about, Ray sent me a really good one tonight, and I thought about that at the last 50. That's what kind of got me home, because I was in a hurt of pain going into that last 50. And I just forced myself to stay underwater and spun my wheels as fast as I could.
Next question, please, in the middle.
Michael, has it really started to hit you that your last individual race will be within the next 24 hours and your last race period will be within the last 48? And then kind of part two, if you're this good, you know, why stop?
Yeah, things kind of started hitting me this morning. I was like, wow, I only have to put put a suit on, you know, a racing suit on 2 more times after tonight. And I only have to warm down 1 more time after tonight. So, you know, like those little tiny things I've been saying to Bob kind of every day, and you know, I was like, wow, tonight's my last 200 ever. That's a very exciting one. So it's wild to think that, you know, over 20 years ago, I learned to swim, and it's all stopping competition-wise in the next 48 hours. You know, it's kind of hard to believe that, Ryan, you know, not hard to believe, but kind of crazy to believe that, you know, Ryan and I have been on the Olympic team and national team together since 2004. That's the longest, I think, continuous competitor I've ever had. Definitely one of the toughest too. It's crazy to think about some of that stuff, but it's also really cool, because I've been able to do everything that I've ever wanted. And it all started just as a kid. I wasn't afraid.
Okay, please, next question.
Michael, there are people who don't regularly watch swimming back home that flip this on and go, yeah, it's Michael in the water and he wins and that's what he does. Can you talk to the process you went through in your comeback and how, when you started, this was not what the end was going to be?
Do you mean like, hold on, can you elaborate a little bit? Sorry.
When you first started getting in the water in your comeback,
Okay,
and
well,
the struggles you had
yeah.
with your times and what you were doing.
Yeah. I kind of knew when I first started coming back that it wasn't going to be an easy process and that I was going to have to force myself to go through pain that maybe I didn't really want to go through, but if I wanted the end result, it was something that I had to do. And I think I was just ready at a point in my life where I was ready to do that and willing to do that. I came back the heaviest that I've ever been. I mean, it was, I've said it like, I've said it a bunch, like I felt like a kid again. And that's the difference. I felt like I did when I was 18. I was getting ready to go to Michigan and go train up there for 4 years. And that's what I felt like. And that was some of the best training of my life. So I think that was the only reason why I was able to get back to where I once was. And to be able to race at this level consistently. There were multiple times where I can recall a Grand Prix in Charlotte where I said, what the hell am I doing back swimming again? I'm swimming so slow, this is terrible, what's going on? Just frustrated. And I just had to trust Bob. For some reason, I trusted him when I was 11 years old. And he hasn't let me down once. So I didn't think he'd let me down this time.
Okay, next question.
Michael, we journalists struggle to think which record you haven't broken yet, and is there anything missing in your career for you?
I have 2 more races. That's about. That's just really one of the cool things that I've been able, I think, and I will be able to look back at more. Everything I've put my mind to, I've been able to accomplish, and as a kid, that's just something you can dream of and you can hope for, and I've worked hard to be able to get to where I am, and I'm thankful for the support that I've had around me to get here.
Please, we just have time to one more question, okay? So let's go ahead.
Hello, Michael. You said you felt like an 18-year-old kid, but you really haven't looked like an 18-year-old kid climbing out of the pool after these races. So first of all, how do you feel when you climb out of the pool after these races? Secondly, you mentioned Ray Lewis had sent you a message. What was in that message, if you don't mind sharing? Thanks.
It's more painful getting out of the water now. My body definitely doesn't feel like an 18-year-old. I'm enjoying it I'm enjoying the sport like I did when I was 18. I'm enjoying training. Well, I enjoyed training leading up to this point, like an 18-year-old. And it's just I think before I was always looking for shortcuts. I was kind of always looking, maybe I can skip a week here, or skip a week there, and still get by. Or, no, I don't need to do that butterfly set. Or, little things like that. And I think I kind of was just like, okay, Bob, you have free reign to whatever we're going to do, let's do it. I guess I kind of went through some obstacles that I probably maybe didn't want to go through before. But I was open to it now because I wanted to be able to be back to where I am now. So getting out of the pool may take a little bit more energy, and it might be a little bit harder. But it's just as sweet standing on top of the podium listening to your national anthem play. And that's, hopefully I have the chance to do it again, but that's something that when I do retire, I will miss. Every time I do think of, hear the national anthem, whenever I hear the national anthem, there's so many memories, that are always going through my head. And pretty much every time I hear it, I'm in tears. And I was trying to hold it back today. Didn't quite work though. Sorry, what was the second part, Ricky? I'll just tell you the last part. He calls me baby boy, and he just said this is your lion's order for today. He's like a big brother to me, and I won't share the exact message, but I read it right before I walked out. And then I saw his message back to me right after the 200 AM, before the 100 fly. And I was almost in tears. But I knew I had to go on some 100 flies, so I had to kind of rethink what was going on and try to get ready for that and make sure I had a lane for tomorrow. So I'm probably going to call him after this, after I get out of here. Pumped to see him, pumped to talk to him, and the Ravens won today, which is nice. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Michael Phelps. Thank you very much.